GHB TV. Ah. What's going on, family? We here, man. I'm calling this the Haney versus Norman Jr. final call. I'm gonna get a little more in depth about my breakdown. A lot of people don't like my breakdown. A lot of people don't like my pick. For those who don't know, I picked Devin Haney to definitely win by decision, possibly by stoppage in the ninth round. The reason I picked the ninth round is because I feel like around that time is where, because a lot of people saying Dev don't punch hard. And that's the thing about punches. They don't have to be hard. It's a punch. Nobody likes getting punched, of course. But a lot of people was making it about Dev not punching hard. And when I'm saying the ninth round stoppage, I'm not saying Dev hit him with a devastating shot and it'll just be over after one shot. That's not what I'm saying. I think by that time, Norman will be slowed down, you know, heart beating at a tremendous rate throughout the fight. And I think by that time, he'll be exhausted. I just feel like he'll be exhausted. I do respect Brian Norman Jr. I feel like Brian Norman Jr. is definitely someone serious and not to be played with. But when I think about the skill level, when I think of the speed, um, when I think about the athleticism, when I think about the skill set again, about Devin with Devin Haney, I just feel like he the all around better fighter. The strength and power factor might go to Norman. You know what I'm saying? But if you know anything about boxing, endurance is very important, and I feel like he's the better endured fighter. Um, I could be wrong, and again, if I am wrong, I'm gonna come back here the next day, and I'm gonna speak about being wrong. Of course, we all know after the fights, me and my guy Bang, we put together Sunday dinner, and the smoke show follows Sunday dinner, and this week Sunday dinner will be on Fighting Words with Bang. You know what I mean? So make sure you subscribe to his channel so that you don't miss it. You know what I mean? But breaking it down, we're gonna start from the bottom up. That being the footwork. I feel like Devin Haney's footwork is a lot quicker. First of all, a lot quicker. His feet is a lot faster than Norman Jr. Norman Jr. is explosive though. He is explosive with his footwork, but his footwork isn't the prettiest. And I'm not saying you lose if you don't have pretty footwork. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying Devin Haney, to me, has the better footwork and he's quicker on his feet, which means he can get in and he can get out a lot faster than what I believe a lot of Norman's opponents have been able to do. I don't think they even a lot of them even tried. Um, I feel like Norman closed in on those guys a lot quicker. I mean, he closed in on them quick, and they didn't have the footwork to be able to get out of there quick enough to get away from Norman. So when Norman started his shit, Norman started putting his hands on these guys. You know what I mean? They do break down, and I give that to Norman. Norman, I feel like very strong, very explosive. But with Haney, if you watch Norman, he dragged that back foot a little bit, and it's almost like his left is going a little bit too far left and his right go a little bit too far right. Therefore, it causes him to have like a wide stance. Not all the time, but you see it. You know what I mean? Who is more likely to lose, Haney or Benavidez? Uh, that's tough to say. That's tough to say because Benavidez is in a great fight. He's in there with an elite light heavyweight. I think it's fair to call Anthony Yard the elite light heavyweight. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's a good question though. I'm not gonna never mind that question. That's a great question. And I appreciate the love and support too. But I feel like, again, with the footwork, I feel like Dev, as fast as he is, will be a step ahead of Brian Norman. Now, if Dev, here's the thing though, if Dev in his mind want to sit there and not so much trade with Norman, but he try his best to get his hands off early in the fight, then he will put himself in range to be hit with a shot. He will put himself in danger at times if he feel like early on in the fight he had his hands off. I believe Brian Norman Jr. will be his strongest and be his most dangerous in the first 3 rounds. I feel like the first 3 rounds are very crucial for both fighters. I feel like the reason those 3 rounds are crucial is because those 3 rounds will set the tone of the fight. If Norman is able to get to Devin Haney within the first 3 rounds, then Devin Haney has a lot of trouble on his hands. You know what I mean? And by a lot of trouble, I mean he'll have to figure out ways to get out of there besides using his feet. He'll have to use his head movement. He'll have to use his catching ability. You know what I mean? So these are the things I feel like Dev should have been working on in camp. You know what I mean? He should have been working on catching punches, slipping punches, rolling punches. Because if he's not in the mood to be ready to get right out of there because of all the things we're saying, if all those things people haven't been saying, I'm sorry. If those things are playing on his mind, then I could see him trying to prove that he could take a shot. Not so much take a shot like he'll give it away, but prove that he'll be able to fight in close quarters with a Brian Norman. You know what I mean? There is a lot of tactics to the inside game, and I feel like you have to work on those things with a guy like Brian Norman. But if Devin Haney is able to set the tone with his feet in the last 3 rounds, where he's keeping enough range for him to fire shots and get out of there, and have Brian Norman basically looking desperate in there, jumping for shots, reaching for shots, things like that, because he's trying to get off so bad, then I feel like the success will be in Devin Haney's hands. But like I said again, if Norman is able to get to him within the first 3, touch his body, you know what I mean, go upside his head. If Norman's power is what people are saying it is, or what people think it is, then he can almost land anywhere and Devin to be affected by it. Meaning, if he aiming for the head and he don't hit him clear in his head, but he hit him in the shoulders, Dev will feel those shots on his shoulders. You know what I mean? He'll feel those shots on the elbows. He'll feel those shots on the hips and things like that. If Norman is really punching like that. If his power is more strength than power, is my mic low? Testing 1 2. Is the mic low? Or is that phone? Let me know. Let me know. Before I continue. Mic sounds good. Gap 2 finna have everyone mad. Mike is good. You good. You good. They said it's you, baby. It's not me. Brandon Alashik was popping. 2 cents was popping. Miss Rashonda in the building. What's going on, cousin? What's the deal? The family is here. So, one, I think Norman, I have to establish a jab. The reason I feel like he'll have to establish a jab, establishing the jab don't mean landing your jab. That's not what I mean when I say establish a jab. When I say establish a jab is just you using the jab. The reason I'm saying that he'll have to do that is because I believe Devin Haney will be on his toes, will be boxing, and you'll have to find Devin Haney. You don't want to find Devin Haney reaching with a straight right hand or trying to reach with a hook. You know, the reason I say that is because those are big shots to be missing. And if you missing, you know what I mean, a big right hand or a big left hook, you could tire out quickly You know what I mean? Doing that. So by establishing the jab, I mean he'll be having to trying to find him with that jab. You know what I mean? See if he can get in range and see what type of reaction he's getting out of Devin Haney, because that'll determine what type of shots he'll be able to land in the fight. Now, at the same time, I feel like Devin Haney will also have to establish his jab. The reason he'll have to establish his jab is because he'll have to be able to keep Norman at a range where he's comfortable defensively and he's comfortable offensively, and being able to and trying to pick up uh Brian Norman Jr.'s timing. He had to pick up his timing because I could see Devin Haney trying to really counter in this fight. You know what I mean? He don't have to, but I can see it because I feel like, you know what I mean, Norman Jr. is going to come out hot. And by hot, I mean he's going to come out steaming, looking for trouble, throwing big shots, going to the body and the head, just trying to make it a rough, tough fight. And if Devin Haney is going to control him, he's going to have to be with his jab and his footwork, of course. Appreciate the donation. Boxing talk. I don't know. After that face-off, Haney looked like a kid and Norman was a grown man. How you see Mason fights going? I'm not going to talk about Abdullah Mason at this moment. I'm sorry about that. I appreciate the donation, though. And I heard some of the things, you know what I mean, these guys been saying back and forth to each other. And I just want to say this. I think when Devin Haney's security guard gripped up the Normans and they had that little skirmish, at that point, I felt like Devin and them fucked up. You know what I mean? And by fucked up, I mean they made the fight personal. And when you make a fight personal, sometimes it's not always good because you putting yourself in position to have a bullseye put on your back. And I think that's what they did. When that happened, I felt like Norman was like, all right, I got to really, really get rid of this motherfucker, which gives you a different type of determination and training. But in return, I feel like Haney, no, because Haney's a fighter, and I'm pretty sure he would be pissed off if somebody did that to him. So Haney know what type of mindset he dealing with when it comes to Brian Norman Jr. Now, in return, Brian Norman Jr. says in one of the interviews, he says to Dev, well, he says in a one-on-one interview, Dev wasn't there in person, but he says, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. Now, when you say stuff like that, Devin Haney had to learn from it because his father was talking like that, and he might have had said something like that when they was fighting Ryan. When you say stuff like that, again, you make the fight personal, and not only do you make the fight personal, you put extra pressure on yourself. You put extra pressure on yourself because now you can't just win. You know what I mean? It can't be a close fight. You got to go out there and really do what you said you was going to do, because that's the only way that people going to believe you. That's the only way that people going to be convinced. And I think they somewhat believe you because of your last 3 performances. Talking about Brian Norman Jr. Brian Norman Jr. has been looking like a beast in his last 3 performances. So when a guy like that says, you know, I'm going to kill you, Devin Haney now says, okay, I already been training for you. I already respect your hand. I know that you strong. I know you can punch. So I already been training. But now that you say you're going to kill me, now you letting me know I got to put my hands on. I have to put my hands on you. Yeah, he should know that because it's already a fight. But it does something to the mentality when a guy says he's going to kill you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking about if a guy told me that. If a guy told me he was gonna kill me, you know, my antennas will be up and my awareness level will go up. Sometimes you don't want a guy to be aware. You want to rock a guy to sleep. You know what I mean? And I think Norman Jr. did a good job with that the entire camp. But now that they're in Saudi, they're doing more interviews. They got more time on their hands. You know what I mean? Because it's not like they're doing a whole lot of moving around. It's fight week. So, you know what I mean? I've been seeing Brian Norman Jr. been doing more interviews and stuff like that, more media stuff. But I think his mental's in the right spot because he want to win. But at the same time, when you say, I'm going to kill you, again, you put a lot of pressure on yourself. And that pressure is known to bust pipes. What I mean by that is, think about a killer. When a killer is killing, he not thinking about nothing else. You know what I'm saying? He almost forget that, you know what I mean, something could happen to him. So when it's like that, when you say, I'm going to kill you, what comes to mind is you looking to do one thing. And you're going to go out there in a one-track mind. You know what I mean? Which turns out to be that, you know, one-trick pony. Where you always coming forward and just looking to get off and not being defensive. And when you're not being defensive, what happens is you forget that shots are coming back your way. When you get in that offensive mindset and you thinking like a killer, you know what I mean? Because one thing about a killer, they motherfucker can stop them. You know what I mean? When I'm getting ready to do what I'm getting ready to do, ain't no way nobody getting in the front of this. Ain't nobody stopping me. You know what I'm saying? I got my mind made up. I'm going to kill you. But what happens is with killers sometimes, they get a little disrespectful to the point where they forget that, hey, you might have a weapon on you too. You might have a weapon too. So I'm stalking you. I'm walking you down. But then when I get up on you, you stab me. Damn. We in for a fight, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? We in for a fight. I like this fight. I ain't gonna lie. I'm excited about this fight. I'm excited about this fight the same way I was for Bud and Canelo. That was the last time I was excited about a fight. And I'm excited about this fight right here the same way. No lie. Now, defense, I feel like Devin is just a little bit better than Norman when it comes to defense. Because of his movement, because of his rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Because of his reflexes. I feel like he's a little bit better. I don't think he's a lot better defensively than Norman, but I do think he is better defensively. Norman to me, like I said, he can get one track minded. And when he's in there with athletes, I see him make a lot of mistakes. It's not to say Devin don't make mistakes. Devin make mistakes too. I just watched Devin Haney throw a straight right hand and lift his chin clean in the air off the straight right hand. So it can happen. You know what I mean? Mistakes definitely happen in the ring. But I feel like when Norman is forced to use his mind and use his ability, he gets a little sloppy at times. You know what I mean? I don't know. Listen, I think Norman can punch? I think Norman can punch. I do. But the thing is, I don't know what kind of punch it is. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's really heavy-handed or if he's just building enough momentum on the shots where he landing good shots, good clean shots, and they effective as far as the guys he's hitting. But I can say those last three fights, those last three knockouts were impressive. I give him that. Now, Devin Haney last three fights, Regis Prograis, Ryan Garcia, and Ramirez. 3 different fights, 3 different fighters. What that tells me about Devin Haney is we don't know who's going to show up. You know what I mean? Listen to what I just said. In Devin Haney's last 3 fights, we've seen 3 different fighters. We don't know what Devin is going to show up. That's the scary part. Scary being good, scary being bad. Take it how you want. You know what I'm saying? That's the scary part about Devin Haney. We don't know which Dev is going to pull up. We know Dev is going to pull up. We know Dev going to be in shape. But we don't know what Devin Haney is going to pull up. That's the interesting part. And I think that's why Norman Sr. been doing as much promotion as possible, because he want Dev to fight his son. Why do he want him to fight his son? He want him to fight his son because that style fits his son's style more than his son having to get on his toes, think, and pay attention to where he is in the ring and how he's approaching Devin Haney, because that's where you start to see Brian Norman Jr.'s mistakes. You see his mistakes when you make him use his mind, when you make him use his style, when you make him use his ability. That's when his style starts to open up and you start to see little things like, okay, he reaching with that right hand, he jumping with that hook, and he leaving openness. I could now, Devin Haney, like I said, he's shown us 3 different styles in those last 3 fights. So what that tells me is, at times, very indecisive on what it is he want to do. I feel like if Norman jump on Haney early, then he can get Devin Haney to be in that indecisive state where he don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, if Devin Haney go out there and he could pick up the timing of Norman quickly and push a jab and set up his right hand, set up his hook, set up his uppercuts, things like that, then we're going to be in for a long night. We're going to be in for a long night because Devin Haney, you know what I'm saying? Devin Haney, like we all know, he like to work. He like spots. Meaning, he not looking to stop you. He just looking to score and wear you down. And if he can wear you down, you know what I mean? Maybe he'll get you out. Haven't seen him knock anybody out. You know what I mean? We haven't seen him knocking anybody out, so we got to be honest. But it's not like we talking about no disrespect when I say this. No disrespect when I say this. We haven't seen Devin knock anybody out in a while. But it's not like we talking about a Paulie Malignaggi. Paulie Malignaggi had 30-something wins with 5 knockouts. Maybe, about 5 knockouts. You know what I'm saying? It's not the kind of guy we talking about. Devin Haney got probably 15 knockouts, 16 knockouts. So he know what it's like to knock a guy. It was 2 fights ago. So he know what it's like to put a guy down. Devin Haney know what it's like to hurt you with a shot. It's not like he won't touch you. He will touch you. It's just not a whole lot of it. You know what I'm saying? It's just not a whole lot of it. And that's fair. What I've been noticing is a lot of people have been favoring Norman Jr. because of his power. And I'm not mad at that, because a lot of times when we see the punchers, you know what I mean? When we see the punchers, we see the end result is them knocking guys out, or they can fight you off them enough and have you respect them enough because of the power. Because of the power, you don't want to go in there. You don't want to, it's getting a little too hot. Every time I step in there, that motherfucker hit me somewhere and it hurt. You know what I'm saying? But we don't know if he have that kind of power. But we have to assume. Because of what we seen him do the last 3 fights. And the last 3 fights, Brian Norman Jr. has been displaying great power. So we have to assume that the great power is there. That's why I don't see Devin Haney standing in front of Brian Norman early in the fight. Nah, I don't see it at all. So all of that about, Norman Sr. saying, oh, he won't stand in front of my son. You goddamn right. Why would he? Why would he stand there? He'll be a fool. I think he'll be a fool if he stood right there and just waited for Norman to bomb a shot. Hell yeah, he'd be out of his fucking mind if he did that. You know what I'm saying? He'll be out of his mind. I think he has too much boxing ability to sit there and try to trade with Brian Norman. You feel me? Based off Brian Norman's last 3 performances. We got to be fair. Based off of his last 3 performances. Now, here's the thing. We've seen Devin go down. We've seen Brian Norman Jr. go down. We seen Devin get his ass kicked. We did. Even though he was in there with a guy Ryan Garcia, who later tested positive for PEDs. So even though we can't unsee that fight, they had to reverse that loss off of his record, because you was in there with a cheater. You know what I'm saying? You was in there with a guy who felt like he was, he had to really cheat to get the dub. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, that fight did happen. He come back, he fight Ramirez. He basically pitched a no-hitter with Ramirez. You know what I mean? A clean sweep. He go in there and he just do laps all night and score when he could score using his hand speed. Never look for a knockout. You know what I'm saying? Just look to basically go up on the cards. And was it a lot of pressure involved? Yeah, it was, because what was they talking about? They was talking about the rematch with Ryan. You know what I mean? There was a lot of talk about the rematch with Ryan. So I feel like on Devin Haney's mind, in his mind, he just wanted to get the win. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Norman's been on the tear. Santillion, knocked out, beat up. Cuevas hit so hard, he forgot he was in the fight. Cuevas forgot he was fighting. Cuevas went to the corner, shook his head a little bit. No, I'm good, y'all. I'm going to retire. I'm going to hang it up here. I didn't expect to get hit like this. Good fight. Good little fight long as it lasted, but it ain't last long. I believe that fight got stopped in the second round. Maybe the third. Good little fight. But, Aki, Norman was trying to blast him out of there from the first round. Norman jumped on him, landing combinations, going to the body, going to the head, slamming overhand rights. But I believe that fight made it to the beginning of the fifth round. And he got him out in the beginning of the fifth. Or maybe it was the middle of the fourth. I'm sorry if I got it wrong. End up knocking Sasaki out. Here's the thing, though. Cuevas coming off the couch, year and a half, layoff. Never really fought at that level. Sasaki, he's been in there with Hiroka. Hiroka clipped him. That was his best, the best opponent on his record. And that fight was at 140 pounds. He steps up. He fights Brian Norman Jr. at 147 pounds and gets wiped out. Did he land some punches in that fight? He landed a few punches. He got wild, landed some shots. And that's where I was speaking on about Brian Norman's defense. Brian Norman is so offensive that sometimes he forget about defense. And that's what got him hit in the fight with Sasaki. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Brian Norman Jr., though, is smart enough of a fighter to know he got to be a little bit patient with Devin Haney. He can't just run right at him. But who's to say he might not? He might also believe in his power so much that he might believe that he can just go out there and run at Devin Haney and get his hands off. That's why I think this is a great fight. And I believe he wants to inflict pain on Devin Haney because, the shit with the security guards. You know what I'm saying? And the bad back and forth the two fathers been having. I think yeah, all of that add bad blood. But the thing is, Junior saying, I'm going to kill you, that changes everything. That changes everything because, like I said, now you have heightened Devin Haney's senses. His antennas are all the way up. Meaning, okay, since you said that, I want you to stick to that. I want you to stick to that, meaning I want you to go ahead and try to kill me and see if I don't have something for that. When you're talking about killing a guy, like I said, it's a one-track minded thing. You only see red. You only see the end result. You're not thinking about moving the head. You're not thinking about catching punches because in your eyes and in your mind, this guy can't do nothing to me. And I think Norman believes that. And I also think Devin Haney thinks he's the better fighter. We've heard them both say it. You know what I mean? Norman says this fight is not going the distance, and I will have my hand raised. You know what I mean? And Devin Haney said, I'm just the better fighter. All the way around. When you say I'm not keeping it a bean about what? If you haven't been listening since the beginning, I would like for you to rewind the tape and listen to the things I've been saying. I'm giving points, pros and cons on both sides. If you don't like what I'm saying, Norman fight like a black Mexican. Dev looks strong. Does it count for anything? I mean, we can't go off the looks. Because to me, Dev looks strong every time out. He always looked like he in great shape. You know what I'm saying? So we can't say. Dev don't have no power. He can't hurt Norman. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing. People say what we people say a guy can't hurt another guy. I don't know how to explain it to y'all. We talking about punches. We not at the end of the day, right? I don't care. I don't care if a guy don't punch that hard. You're not gonna let somebody punch you in your face. You're not gonna just because you think a guy don't hit hard. That don't mean let him hit you, because if he could still hurt you. The speed of a shot and the accuracy of a shot can hurt you. And I never said Dev hurt him with one shot. I don't. And do I believe Dev hurt him with shot? With one shot? I don't believe that. But could that happen? Yeah, that could happen. A guy could hurt you with one shot if he hit you in the right spot. If a guy hit you in a button here, 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 solar plex, here, liver, here. I mean, those are shots that'll get you out. Up under that heart. Those are shots that'll get you out. They'll get you out of there. You know what I mean? If a guy places a shot perfectly to the point where, you know what I mean, the shot just land perfect, it could get you out. When everybody, it's so crazy. Yeah, you hit a motherfucker up under their heart, you could make their heart skip a beat for sure. Everybody, when you talk about knockouts, everybody say, oh, well, he don't have the power. It don't always take power to knock a motherfucker out. You just got to beat him. You just got to whoop on him. You know what I mean? Now, make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like button for me. Don't bullshit me. You know what I mean? If you going to fuck with me on a Monday night and get this final call, make sure you fucking with me. Now, Sean Zattel even, shout out to Sean Zattel. He even made this point. He said, Devin Haney's been 12 rounds 10 times. Norman, you haven't been 12 rounds just yet. That's when we speak about the conditioning. Devin proven that he's conditioned for 12 rounds. We've seen it. We've even seen it the last fight. Even though Jose Ramirez couldn't really catch him, Dev kept that rhythm all night. He kept that foot speed up all night. He kept that hand speed up all night. Them feints all night. We have to understand, and we have to be fair. We have to be fair. We haven't seen Brian Norman go 12 rounds just yet. So even if Devin can't take his punch, let's say he do that night. Let's say he is able to take the punch of Brian Norman Jr. Then is Brian Norman Jr. able to go 12 full rounds with Devin Haney? That's a question. That's a question. Is it possible? Now, here's the thing. I'm going to keep it real. Have we seen Devin Haney go down? Yes, we've seen Devin Haney go down. But have we ever seen Devin Haney go out? No, we had never seen him go out. So if Norman isn't able to get him out, is he able to go 12 rounds with Devin Haney? Is it possible? Yeah, I believe it's possible. But we haven't seen it. Listen to me, class. Listen to me, class. If Norman Jr. is not able to knock out Devin Haney, is he able to go 12 rounds with Devin Haney at a high pace? That's all I'm asking. It's no disrespect to either fighter. I love this fight. I think this is a great fucking fight. Did I pick Devin Haney to win? Yes, I picked Devin Haney to win. I feel like he's too fast, too sharp, and too experienced. A lot of that is going to come this week. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that is going to come out this week. Too fast, too sharp, too experienced. That's just what I believe. I could be dead wrong, though. And if I'm wrong, I'm going to come on here the next day and say I was wrong. You know what I mean? I'm going to be fair and square. If Devin Haney win the fight, or if Brian Norman Jr. come on here, I mean, if Brian Norman Jr. win the fight, then I'm going to come on here the very next day, or maybe even that night, and I'm going to say the best man won. And from what I saw, I'll explain why and what I thought happened in that fight, like I always do. You know what I mean? I'm just a spirit, gang. I don't want no trouble with nobody. I'm just talking boxing. We keep saying, what if Norman is going to knock out Devin Haney? I'm hearing a lot. He's going to knock him out. We hadn't seen Devin Haney knocked out. But like I said, Sean Zattel said, and he made a great point when he said it, Devin Haney's been 12 rounds 10 times. You have never been 12 rounds. Can you hang? I think that's a valid question. I think that's a very, very important question. I think that's something to look into. Cause the thing is, do we know? Do we really know, and do we really believe, Norman, about going 12 rounds? We haven't seen him done it. We haven't seen it done on his end. We seen him knock people out. That's fair and square. But even Tank, being as big as of a puncher as he is, we haven't seen him knock everybody out. Everybody ain't going. You know what I'm saying? Vegas can say whatever they want. What I'm supposed to care about Vegas? I'm not making no money in Vegas. I'm making my money here in Philly. Vegas gotta pump it up. That's how Vegas make their money. Don't you ever notice when the odds is super crazy on a certain situation? Not now. Listen, if it's a lopsided fight, of course Vegas is going to get it right. But every time we think, you know how many people betted on Canelo Alvarez to beat Bud Crawford? You know how many people bet on Canelo Alvarez to beat Bud Crawford? A lot of people. And Vegas knew they was going to do that. Didn't Vegas have Canelo winning that fight? Now, I'm not sitting here trying to say that Devin Haney is a Bud Crawford. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is sometimes they get it wrong too. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they get it wrong. Vegas get it fucked up sometimes. They do. But they do that on purpose. They put shit out there like that on purpose for you to lose your money. They want you to think the favorite is the favorite. That's fair. What I'm saying is this is a pretty even matchup, though. When you think about the power that we've been seeing from Brian Norman Jr., and when you think about the skill set, the ability, the speed, the reflexes of a Devin Haney, it pretty much evens out. Because with power, if it's real power, I only got to hit you 1 or 2 good times and you'll be up out of here. That's if the power is real. I'm not saying the power fake, but what I'm saying is the guys we've seen go out the last 3 fights, we got to be fair. Those aren't Devin Haney's. But let's also be fair. Brian Norman Jr. isn't a Ryan Garcia. He isn't a Regis Prograis, and he isn't a Jose Ramirez. So that's why this is a great fight. You said you lost listening to me. Guess what? You will lose listening to anybody. It's about your pick. It's who you like. It's not who I like. I pick based off of what I think. Am I allowed to be wrong? Yeah. There's been times I've been right. Cool. Sometimes you're going to win, and sometimes you're going to lose. But don't pick off of me. Pick off of you. You know what I mean? Try to pick who you like. Don't pick who I like. If you don't like my pick, that's fine with me. If you don't like my pick, that's fine with me. I just think this kid, Devin Haney, has seen a lot more than the Brian Norman Jr. Brian Norman Jr. is a good fighter. Don't get it fucked up. Brian Norman Jr. is a good fighter. But you got to show me more when it's a Devin Haney. Because Devin Haney's seen more. That's just my opinion. But does he have flaws? Yeah, they got a flaw. But they also got some great gifts. You know what I'm saying? They also got some great gifts where, you know, they able to go out there and make some shit happen. And at the end of the night, we like, shit, I didn't see that coming. Again, Bud and Canelo. A lot of people were saying in that fight, they make weight classes for a reason, and Bud Crawford has no type of business in there with a Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is a legend. He's gonna kill Bud. He's too small. Oh, oh. That's what they said. You know what I'm saying? Skills pay the bills at the end of the day. DZD, you said it, not me. You know what I'm saying? These fights, but here's the thing. I was talking about this today. The game is going to go back to where these guys have to fight. The reason the game is going to go back to where these guys have to fight is because we have too many guys running around saying that they are the guy, and we haven't seen it. We haven't seen it. You know what I'm saying? We haven't seen it. So because we haven't seen it and everybody's claiming to be the best, guess what? It's about to be a war. It's about to be a war that's going to break out. And we about to see a bunch of great fights because everybody claiming they worth the big money. Then guess what? If you worth the big money, show me you worth the big money. You know what I'm saying? Do I feel like Brian Norman Jr. means business? Hell yeah. I feel like he means business. But with that business, I feel like he's one-track minded. He's one-track minded because he used those famous words. I'm going to kill you in there. He said, I'm going to kill you. When you say that, you put great pressure on yourself. You put great pressure on yourself. So now that you said that, he ain't say I'm going to beat you the fuck up. He ain't say I'm going to knock you out. And he did say that. He did say I'm going to knock you out and all of that. But this week he said, I'm going to kill you in there. Now, when you say something like that, hey, I want to see if you really like that. You know what I'm saying? I want to see if you really like that. We got to be fair. We talking about two game dogs. We talking about two very game dogs. We do. But we got to be even more fair. Devin Haney is more game than a Brian Norman Jr. And the reason being, he's been through more. Not because he's just the better fighter, and that's just because I'm picking him and I'm saying that. No, I'm saying that because we've seen him hit that mat, get up and keep fighting. Hit that mat again, get up and keep fighting. Hit that mat again, get up and keep fighting. We haven't seen that in a 12-round stint with a guy like Brian Norman Jr. We've seen him in some tough fights. We've seen him in some bloody brawls. We have. We've seen him in some good Jones. But we haven't seen him go down. We haven't seen him get his ass kicked and have to work his way back from that. This is going to be a great fight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just a spirit. I'm just here. You know what I mean? When I'm going, all my mixtapes will be on YouTube for y'all to run it back. And my kids will be able to eat off of this shit, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just speaking the game as I see it. Am I wrong sometimes? Yes, I'm wrong sometimes. Am I right sometimes? Yes, I be right sometimes. That's all it is. I'm just a man with an opinion. I'm just a man with an opinion. Some people say, hey, Greg, I like how you break down fights. Could you talk to me about this? And could you, sometimes you point things out that I never think about. And, you know what I'm saying? Hey, if I'm going to be wrong, then I'm going to be wrong. But I know one thing. When it comes to Brian Norman Jr., y'all don't like to be honest. Y'all don't like to talk about the Boca Chica fight when he went down off of that short right hand. Y'all don't like to talk about the Quentin Randall fight where he had trouble with Quentin Randall because Quentin Randall could box. We don't like to talk about that fight. How come? How come we don't like to talk about that fight? where he did a lot of reaching and diving in and falling in and, you know, just going crazy, trying to knock Quentin Randall out. And Quentin Randall wasn't going. And could we be fair to say Devin is a better fighter than Quentin Randall? He is. Devin is a better fighter than Santillan. He is. Devin is a better fighter than a Derek Cuevas. He is. Devin is definitely a better fighter than a Jin Sasaki. He is. You know what I mean? Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that alert button so that when we go live or when we post a video, you will be the first to know. If not the first, you'll be within the top 10. I appreciate the love and support. GHB TV, we are here. You know what I'm saying? You said, gee, be fair. He was 22 at that time. Nobody cared that Abdullah Mason was 21 when he got knocked down twice in the same round. When did age start to play a major factor? Going down is going down. Earl Spence was how old when Bud knocked him down? You know what I'm saying? Let's talk boxing. If we're going to talk boxing, let's talk boxing. He said, for my young boy, much respect. I disagree. No, I appreciate that, though. If you disagree, the lifesaver, hey, listen, I appreciate the donation, but if you disagree, listen, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Tell me in the comments what you really think. Do I still spar? Yeah, I still get nasty. Is you crazy? I got to get nasty. If I don't get nasty, I ain't right. Yeah, I still spar. You kidding me? That's like asking a BMX rider, do he still get on a bike? That's like asking never mind. Trust me, I get busy. You know what I'm saying? It's fight week, ladies and gentlemen. 2 cents, I see you out there lighting shit. Keep doing what you doing, gang. What's the point of having shooters if you're not going to use them? Watch how you come through here and talk to me. It's okay to disagree, but when you get disrespectful, you know what I mean? You got to go. He said, let's get it in, G. I train my fighters at Haven Junior Gym. I get busy. I'm 55. What you mean, let's get it in? What you mean by that? Oh, that's Dino Wells. I know about Dino Wells. Hey, Dino Wells, we could definitely get it popping. I remember your hand. Dino Wells was a Friday night fight guy. I remember you. We could definitely get it popping. When you slide in the VA. I don't know what y'all got going on down there. You know what I'm saying? We love the love. For sure we do. You trying to get some waves? I don't know. I think I'm wavy. Talk to me. I think I'm doing pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I don't even really get my hair cut like I'm supposed to, but I think I'm doing pretty good. How I look up there, God? Talk to me. Dino Wells, I definitely remember who you are. Dino Wells was a gangster. We got to get Dino Wells on here. We got to get Dino Wells on here to talk boxing. I remember Dino Wells. He said, let's spar. No, I know who you are. I know you a fighter. We could definitely get it in, though. For sure, we can get it popping. That's no cap. We can definitely get it popping. You, Dino Wells, I know who you are, so that would be an honor. That would be an honor. You know what I'm saying? I would love that. You feel me? That's no. Whenever I'm in your town or you in my town, let me know. I'll make sure I at least have my mouthpiece for me. I might need to, got my mouthpiece with me. I might need some equipment, but I will have my mouthpiece. I don't go nowhere without my mouthpiece. You feel me? But if you ever up north, come fuck with me. I definitely got rounds. That's no bullshit. I'm in Albany, Georgia. I know where you at. I know you down there. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Now listen, can Brian Norman Jr. win this fight? Hell yeah, he can win this fight. But I'm not basing it just off power. I think he's going to need more than power. I think his feet are going to have to be quicker. I think that jab is going to have to be active. I think he's going to have to be to that body very early. If he's not going to that body very early, and if he can't catch up with Devin Haney within the first 3 rounds, I don't think it's happening. I'm being honest. If he don't catch up to Devin Haney within the first 3 rounds, I don't think it's happening. I sparred 6 9-minute rounds last week. I got you. I got you. You know what I'm saying? We here. GHB TV. I appreciate the love and support. You know what I mean? The preferred method to donate to the channel would be GregieCash, GREGIE Cash on Cash App. Appreciate the love and support. But that's just me. I just wanted to come through here. And break some shit down. You know what I mean? About the fight. If you got here in the middle of the live, you know what I mean? You can rewind the live, go back to the beginning and hear it from the very beginning. I gave both fighters their credit on pros and cons. You know what I mean? About the fight of what I think. And I'm not saying everything I'm saying is law. I'm not saying it. It's just what I see. It's just what I see. You know what I'm saying? And from what I see, you know, it's going to be needed. Brian Norman Jr. is going to have to be picking his feet up and be a little bit quicker, but most importantly, working behind his jab. Devin Haney is going to have to be picking his feet up and making sure he's keeping the proper distance between him and Brian Norman Jr. for him to be able to land, but not only just land, be able to see what's being thrown his way so that he'll be able to react quick enough to get up out of there. Or catch the punch, slip the punch, roll the punch, you know what I'm saying, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? This is going to be a great fight. It's going to be a great fight because of the styles. We talking about 2 great styles. You know what I mean? We got the bull and the matador for sure. And I like this fight. You know what I mean? A lot of people may not like my pick. Like I said, I'm picking Devin Haney. 2 cents, appreciate you. I'm picking Devin Haney definitely by decision, but also I'm gonna have a little side joint to say he might stop him in the 9th round or within 9 rounds. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Could I be wrong? Yes, I could be wrong. But this is boxing. Anything can happen. And I just feel like, it's just my opinion. I just feel like Devin Haney is the more experienced fighter, the more prepared fighter. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's too fast, too sharp, too experienced. Is Brian Norman Jr. a dog? Yes, sir. He is a dog. Is he capable of getting the dub? Yes, sir. He's very capable of getting the dub. Is he capable of getting a knockout? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Is it possible? Yes, sir. I'm not taking nothing away from that young man. For sure. Dino Wells, appreciate the donation. He says, much love, Greg. Much love, you, Greg. Do you saw when the bell rings? It's free here on YouTube, but it's on Amazon Prime. Brian, I believe, has elevated his skills. It would be an honor to spar with you indeed. For sure. Likewise. Dino Wells, I know about you, gang. I definitely know about Dino Wells for sure. I used to watch you on Friday Night Fights. I definitely know about Dino Wells. And we definitely could get it popping. And if Brian Norman Jr. has improved from his last fight till now, we will be seeing it Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here to talk about the fight because I love this fight. I really love this fight. You know what I mean? And guess what? That's to take nothing away from the other fights on the card. Because guess what? It's 3 other great fights on the main card. And I'm looking forward to all of them. And I will be locked and loaded watching these fights and breaking them down. But my favorite fight on the card is Norman versus Haney. Haney versus Norman. That is my favorite fight on the card. No bullshit. What about the Abdullah? I'm gonna a video and talk about Abdullah and Sand Oaks. For sure. I might drop that tomorrow. I might go ahead and work on that one tomorrow. I might do the same concept I'm doing here. You know what I'm saying? Just go live and break it down. But I love the speed that Abdullah Mason is moving at. I think he's proven enough to us that he should be in this position. Now we getting ready to see what he looks like in this position, getting a title shot at 135 pounds. He said typo. I said, did you saw? I meant, did you see? Yeah, I think I had to read it how it was written, but yeah, I think I got what you were saying. I appreciate that though. The good brother Dino Wells. Appreciate the donation again. We got Jab Queen in the house. Omic Original. What's going on? What's popping? That Bam and Puma fight. Right. I need to jump on that too. I do believe Abdullah is a special fighter. I do believe Sam Noakes is very determined and not looking to play with Abdullah Mason. I think Sam Noakes says to himself, I see the style, you know what I mean? I see the flash, but he ain't been in there with a man just yet. I'm a grown man. This is a kid. I think Sam Noakes is looking at this fight like, you know what? Y'all playing with me. Y'all trying to disrespect me in the highest regards. You know what I mean? Y'all trying to disrespect me because y'all gonna give me a 21-year-old kid that ain't been tested on this level. I think that's what Sam Noakes is saying to himself. You know what I mean? Now, has Sam Noakes been in there with a fighter as talented as Abdullah Mason? I don't think so. You know what I mean? But has he been in there with some gritty dogs? I believe that. So that means to me, when times get tough, Sam Noakes gonna get tough with it. But can he take too much? How much can he take, rather? At the same time, though, we haven't seen Abdullah Mason in there with his equal. Is it possible that Sam Noakes could be his equal? Is that possible? You know what I mean? And by equal, I'm talking about size, strength, reflexes, you know what I mean? Power, placement, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Greg, I have an idea, but I would like to speak to you off YouTube. I think this can be a good thing too. Where can I text? Just hit me on Instagram. I think I follow you on Instagram. Greg Hackett 86. Greg Hackett 86. Good brother Dino Wells. Greg Hackett 86. You can get with me, or you can get with me on X. Greg Hackett 215. They said Noakes is getting smoked in 6. That would be very impressive. That would be very impressive by Abdullah Mason if he was able to make that happen. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, listen, man. Brian Norman Jr., Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. this Saturday. It's going to be crazy. And I can't wait. I think this was one of the most anticipated fights that we didn't know we was going to get. And ever since we heard about it, I mean, we've been talking about it. It's a great fight, for sure. GHB TV, will you help Norm new occupation after this? I mean, I don't think I would have to help him. I mean, he got the shop. You know what I mean? We know they got the shop for sure. So I think it would, he would become partners probably with his father. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Mason and Sam, though, I got y'all. I got y'all on the Mason and Sam joint. This joint was about Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. I didn't want to, mix everything up. And I'm gonna drop a joint on Yard and Benavidez. I'm gonna drop a joint on Noakes and Mason, and I'm gonna drop a joint on Puma and Bam Rodriguez for sure. You know what I mean? It's 285 people here at this current moment. I'm sorry. We got 155 likes, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button and make sure you subscribe too. Don't forget to subscribe. You know what I'm saying? You gotta subscribe. You gotta fuck with me. If you don't fuck with me, you're not gonna get the raw. You're gonna get some good work probably, but not the raw. You only gonna get the raw fucking with me. I'm just being honest. You know what I mean? It's not being cocky. I'm just trying to give out the raw. If you don't believe me, rewind this video and just listen back. And it's probably still some things I missed. You know what I mean? Because my brain just be running. So, I'm just trying to relay the information the best way I can. You know what I'm saying? But great fight. Haney versus Norman. Great fight. I love the fight. You know what I mean? Just in case any of you was interested, GregieCash on Cash App. Appreciate the love and support. Thank you.